My name is Keyshawn Martin, and I'm a YouTuber who just is trying to make some sense of this thing that we got called life. And on this channel, I simply talk about the things I've lived. And this is why I'll never quit, even if I should have. And those days when everything in you whispers, I'm tired, I'm done, I can't keep doing this. And I have more of those days than I can count, where quitting felt like the only thing that made sense to me. But here's the truth. I had to learn this the hard way. And that's that quitting doesn't take the pain away. It doesn't. It only guarantees that the progress that you were making stops right where it's at. You quit, you done. There was one night that just still sits in my mind like it happened yesterday, actually. I had just worked 12 hours, my feet throbbing, my back is stiff, and my eyes were just burning from the exhaustion, yawning like 1,000 times, just yawning, back to back. I walked to the car, opened the door, and instead of driving off, I just sat there. I'm holding the steering wheel, just in the zone. And the silence made it worse because now every frustration was just running through my mind. I was posting videos that nobody watched. I'm online selling digital products that barely moved, putting in the hours, the energy on projects that seemed invisible to everybody. And for the first time, I sat out loud, thinking like, maybe this just ain't for me. Maybe I should just stick with a job or go back to school. And it was the moment where logic and fear and exhaustion and disappointment, it all sat in the passenger seat right next to me. It was there. It was present. I had the moment. And then something else slipped into that same space. It was a thought, like it didn't feel powerful or inspirational, but it felt honest. And you can't expect the most if you keep doing very little. And that concept did something to me where I realized I was trying to grow something without committing to the grind of it. See, back in the early days of my early YouTube channel, that discouragement hit kind of different. It didn't bother me. I knew I was new. I knew this is the beginning of it. I'm working two jobs, functioning on a few hours sleep, making content in parking lots with the phone propped up on my dashboard and trip. Barely anyone was watching. And not because the content was bad. It was kind of bad. No mic, bad lighting. But it was because I knew inconsistent and being invisible to the algorithm, that was me. And one day while I'm uploading the video before heading into my second job at Cal State, an older coworker, he walked past, I'm sitting in the car, door open, and he said, "Oh, you still doing that YouTube thing? Ain't nobody watching that." And he laughed like it was a harmless joke. I laughed too, it's funny. But I ain't gonna lie to you, that kind of, it stung a little bit because it's some truth to it. Keep it a buck, I felt it. It cut through the little confidence that I had in this thing. That moment taught me something real, that most people stop right before the momentum kicks in. And it's because they can't see the progress that's forming beneath the surface. It's hard to see. It's hard to believe in something that you don't have no kind of evidence of. Some breakthroughs look like nothing for a very long time. They grow quietly, like roots under the soil. And if you quit too early, you never get to see what was about to rise. It happens to a lot. So I made a commitment to myself. That day, not a dramatic declaration or some kind of superhero vow, but a simple promise. And I told myself that I could get emotional, I can be frustrated, I can complain and shit. That happens, or feel some type of way about posting the videos, especially the ones that got 8 views. Those hurt. They do. That's terrible. But quitting was not an option in this. It's not happening. I decided that even if I move slowly or if the results are small, I would keep showing up, keep handling business because stopping wouldn't protect me from the pain of regret. Regret is a mental health issue. It will haunt you. It will be calling you. Stopping will only guarantee I stayed exactly where I was. And the sneaky part about it, quitting isn't like, it doesn't happen in one big moment. The quitting sneaks upon you like you start doing less and less. Quitting looks like posting less because you don't want to face the low views no more. You tell yourself, I'm gonna do something else. You start doing something else. You busy, but you ain't doing that. So you still technically quit. And then you start pretending so you don't care. It don't bother you. The disappointment can just sit on your soul sometimes. Quitting often hides the habits and then it becomes normal, especially if you don't catch them right where it's at, right in the moment, saying, hey, let me get back to handling business. And once you stop showing up consistently, because imagine this, quitting can be consistent, or you can consistently quit. That's the only consistent thing a lot of people do is quit. You do that, you stop creating the evidence that you deserve the life that you're trying to build. And I promise myself to stay committed, even on the days that motivation vanish. Because motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. Those completely different things because motivation depends on how you feel. Then you feel the motivation around 1st of January to hit the gym. Discipline depends on who you've been, who you decided to be, basically. The discipline is when you've been in the gym when January 1st come around. It don't matter what day it is, you go. And the older I get, the more I realize discipline is the line between the dreamers and the doers. You don't have to feel inspired to keep going. You just have to show up one more time than the version of you that wants to quit. You want to quit, I'll show up again. There were so many moments, especially where it looked like I should have stopped. Situations where quitting seemed logical. It made sense, but if I had walked away, I wouldn't be speaking to you right now. None of the stories or the motivation, the connection with the people who needed to hear what I'm talking about, that wouldn't even exist. I would have just quit doing something else. I'd have been a plumber or something else. God bless him. You wouldn't be hearing this message at all. So when life tells you to quit, it's usually because something is shifting right under the surface, something you don't understand. You might be closer to something than you realize. That resistance you feel is often the tension right before the breakthrough. And it's not a sign to walk away. No. It's a sign to dig in. Really. You might not see the results today, but if you stay consistent, I promise you, something will move. It always does. You're not failing. You're not. But this is more like a transition, my friend, because this is the part of the story where it feels like nothing is working, but the growth is happening underneath. Keep showing up, even when it doesn't make sense to. Because one day it will. Yeah. Because I'm still clocking in at work, creating videos, daily hustling, but I will never quit. Not because I'm stronger than anyone else. No. But because once I've seen what consistency can build, quitting stops being an option. No. I'd rather achieve it and then don't want it no more. But quitting, that's something totally different. And if you're at that point where you're wondering if it's worth it, trust me, it is. For real.